Hello, I'm Pastor Joe, and welcome to 2 Minute Tuesdays Together. Over the last 6 videos that I've released, we've been looking at spiritual disciplines, specifically some of the historic spiritual disciplines. I firmly believe that the historic spiritual disciplines are grossly overlooked and underutilized. I think they can be such value to us in our walk of faith and in our relationship with Jesus Christ. I think we all need to practice them more. We began this journey by talking about the Bible, the importance of reading the Bible, living in the Bible. We looked at prayer. We talked about worship, both corporate worship and personal, private worship. We've talked about evangelism. We've talked about serving others and being involved in mission, local and beyond. And we've talked last time about stewardship as a spiritual discipline. Well, I want to wrap up this examination of the historic spiritual disciplines by taking a look at journaling. I'm telling you, if you will commit to practicing several of these spiritual disciplines, you will notice a difference in your faith life. One that I don't do it all the time. I do it in spells. I'll do it for a year or two, then I take a little bit of time off, and then I also have to give myself grace that if I don't do it every day. But that is journaling. And journaling is not the same as keeping a diary. It may be in the same kind of family, but it is different. And there's no one way to journal. For instance, you can go, I went just to a local little store, Walmart or a dollar store or something, and I bought this notebook, hard kind of cover notebook that I can close that off with. I've used that some. I've got a fancier journal. It's a leather-bound journal, and this is kind of what I journal a lot of my reading in right now. When I'm really in the act of and practicing the discipline of journaling, I actually right now, my preferred way to do that is just to use a loose leaf notebook. And what I do, because it works for me, is I journal for a month, whether it's every day, every other day, it doesn't matter. But at the end of the month, and I take the pages out and I scan them. And then I can destroy those pages because I don't want a bookshelf necessarily full of all my journals, but yet I also have a digital copy of it. So whatever method, I've also journaled in typing, but right now I'm into writing my journal. There's no one way. You got to figure out what works for you. Now, these are sort of the logistics of it. These are the easy part. I think the harder part of journaling comes when we start asking the question, how do we journal? What do we journal? So in these next 2 minutes, I want to share some of my thoughts on how to utilize a journal, what to write, and what to do with it. So let's get 2 minutes on the clock and let's go. So again, there is no one way to journal, whether you're talking about the method in terms of book or typing or writing or whatever, or what you write. Everybody journals differently. So some of the things that I have found helpful in my journaling, I got a friend, he actually does this on Facebook, but it works very good in journaling too, is that each day just spend a little bit of time towards the end of the day and write down 3 good things that happened during the day. And you can just list 1, 2, 3, boom, 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 and write it, or you can give a little bit of detail. I would give a little detail. I like to do that because then it reminds me when I go back later, why were these good things? So 3 good things, that's always a good thing to answer. Another thing that I like to do in my journals is answer the question, how did I see or experience God today? Often we go through life and we fail to recognize God's presence because we're so busy. And so sometimes when we can intentionally slow down and stop and take a look, we'll recognize God. So journaling is a great place to answer that question. How did I see God working and moving? Or how did I experience God working and moving? I think that's a big one. Often in my journaling, I will write down some things that really spoke to me, or even questions that came up in my daily scripture reading or my daily devotional reading. So journals are a good place to handle that because you can go back and relive those. Also, there are times I want to write down some of the struggles I'm facing, struggles in life, struggles in faith. What are some of the questions that you have in faith? What are questions that you would ask God? That's a great thing to use your journal for. One of the more maybe creative things I've seen, and I will do it now within, is to use your journal to write letters to God. to ask him questions you want to ask, to say what's on your mind, and to fuss, to compliment, doesn't matter. But just write a personal letter to God. And that very act of doing that can be tremendous. So there is no one way to do it, but I will encourage you to find some time and find what works for you and keep a spiritual journal, because it will do wonders to help you grow in your faith. Well, look, I hope this video has been helpful. I hope these videos on the spiritual disciplines have been helpful. Go back, take a look at them, share them with others. But whatever you do, I hope that you will intentionally nurture and grow your relationship with Jesus Christ. So until next time, I hope that you will hit like on this video, share it with others, and if you haven't already, please take a moment to subscribe to my channel.